Father the Jade Lord the Highest Emperor, the Holy Father God the Human Being, Mother, the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's Earth in the 36th Heaven, the Divine Teachings of God. Oh, what about secret Dharma, my children? Secreta Dharma is a mysterious Dharma that is not widely spread to the general public, and when transmitting secret Dharma, practitioners only use verbal tradition. In the past, secret Dharma was usually esoteric bhavanga, and was rarely widely spread, so you often heard about the terms, esoteric bhavanga, meaning of cultivation of the heart and mind or secret Dharma transmission etc. Why keep it secret, my children? Because in the past, when studying the esoteric bhavanga, when a master wanted to transmit the esoteric bhavanga to a disciple, he usually had to monitor the disciple to see if there was any disciple who had graduated from the light karma in the mortal world, and had a mind determined to seek liberation and abandon the world. Then he would call that disciple back and use verbal tradition to explain it privately to a disciple, giving a disciple the precious esoteric bhavanga, so that a disciple could practice and sought liberation. This had always been the case. And the Dharma of your mysterious invisible is also esoteric bhavanga, but it does not keep it secret but spreads it to the general public. Whoever wants to practice it can do so, that belongs to the widely transmitted esoteric bhavanga. If you want to become enlightened quickly, to open your wisdom to evolve quickly to escape the cycle of four universal sufferings of birth, old age, sickness, and death, escape the evil path, escape the cycle of reincarnation, you must learn meditation. Practice the esoteric bhavanga, and be diligent and energetic in your practice. Father the Jade Lord the Highest Emperor the Holy Father, God the Human Being Mother the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's Earth, in the 36th Heaven, the Divine Teachings of God. Dear Father, in our opinion, if the esoteric bhavanga can help people become enlightened quickly, evolve quickly to reach liberation, why not spread it to help the general public practice instead of keeping it secret? Father, is this because the masters are still narrow-minded and selfish, no different from good doctors who have good medicine but do not want to spread it and only keep it secret for their children, or for those they like? Father, my children, here Father will explain to you why the esoteric bhavanga is often not spread to the general public. There is a reason, my children, because the esoteric bhavanga is a treasure. If you give it to the wrong person or do not know how to preserve it, it is no different from throwing the treasure into the river or the ocean. If the practitioner of the esoteric bhavanga has heavy karma, is still deluded by the mortal world, has a heavy and yin nature, does not want to let go of mortal world, and does not know how to seek liberation, then what is the use of receiving the treasure of esoteric bhavanga, my children? It will only cause the esoteric bhavanga to deteriorate, my children. And if you practice meditation while your karma is still heavy, you will have to endure trials and find it difficult to sit still, is still attached to the world, and has a heavy and yin nature, then you will be constantly disturbed by the love-sick and difficult to concentrate your mind. Even if you has received the mind of liberation, you will still neglect your practice, and at times you will abandon the esoteric bhavanga halfway. Father the Jade Lord the Highest Emperor, the Holy Father God the Human Being, Mother the Holy Mother God the Holy Mother's Earth in the 36th Heaven, the Divine Teachings of God. There is also this matter, my children, you should know that there are many Dharma methods of practice that require the practitioners to have a foundation of virtue, a level of purity and lightness, which can be considered the foundation of cultivation, and the practice of the Dharma must also be constantly monitored and controlled by the masters, who have transmitted the Dharma to the practitioners. Being careful like this is to guard against any possible dangers that may happen to the practitioners, because there are many methods that require close monitoring and control of the movement of the flow of consequences in the mortal body, to reveal secrets and open up powers for the practitioners. Therefore, if the practitioners receive these methods but is not yet pure energy, the mind and nature of practitioners will still have a lot yin energy, or sometimes they practice the method in wrongly path. The consequences of this event can endanger the life or cause insanity, or destroy the practitioner's mortal bodies. Those are some of the reasons why the esoteric bhavanga is often secret. Father the Jade Lord the Highest Emperor, the Holy Father God the Human Being, Mother the Holy Mother God the Holy Mother's Earth in the 36th Heaven, the Divine Teachings of God. Oh, and why the mysterious invisible method is spread. You know, first of all, because the practice is too difficult, and the transmission is relatively less dangerous for the practitioners, so it can be spread among the general public. The spreading of the story is also God's will. Why is that, my children? Because this is the final origin, this is the end of the world. This is the era of desolation and suffering to purify, and select qualified souls and the source of regeneration. That is the Holy Superior's realm, my children, because this present period when humanity must endure the test of results, endure all kinds of suffering on earth. So God's grace is also bestowed to save more of Father's children. Therefore, this is also considered a great amnesty of heaven and earth. Whoever tries to cultivate develops a strong will, strives hard, and is determined to return to Father in heaven. Then no matter how heavy or low the karma is, Father will still try to save and bless you. Therefore, Father gives all means, all conditions, all opportunities without any limitations as before, using the esoteric bhavanga to teach both low-level understanding and intelligence, still entangled with heavy karma, so that all of you, no matter what level you are at, yang or yin, heavy or light karma, will have the good fortune to return to heaven, if you are determined to practice and progress, and take care of yourself in this final stage. My children,
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's Earth, in the 36th heaven. The divine teachings of God, the many refined methods, whose practices are too complicated to be popularized among the general public, are transferred by Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, to be promoted to help children in this final stage. There are all kinds of methods and all kinds of resources. Whoever likes whichever one children can choose. Children can rely on those methods and resources to return to Father in heaven. The mysterious invisible method that you are practicing is a very good method to take you to the place of liberation. In terms of mysterious invisible method, Taoism religion also has a refined method that has been completed up to now. The Taoism method of practicing mysterious invisible method is very limited in its dissemination through verbal transmission, but there will come a time when it will have to be widely spread among the general public. Recently, Father has posted a planchette at the place and has begun to gradually spread this method of practice. My children. Dear Father, Father has taught that if children want to quickly reach the place of liberation, we must practice the esoteric bhavanga. So those who do not know how to meditate and do not achieve the esoteric bhavanga, but live a good life and do good deeds, will they be liberated? Father, my children, here you have to raise the issue of being honest and kind, doing good deeds and accumulating merits. With what goal? Doing good deeds to pray for blessings, or to pray for liberation, or doing good deeds just to save suffering, and give happiness. You have to look at the goal to be able to discuss. My children, Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's Earth, in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, please listen. Father explains the issue to you clearly. Whoever does good deeds all your life to pray for blessings, you has created good karma yourself, pulling you back to reincarnation to enjoy the blessings you have sown. Doing good deeds with this spirit is only binding you in the cycle of reincarnation, and forever sinking in the four universal sufferings of birth, old age, sickness, and death, because when reincarnating to enjoy blessings, how can you not sow new karma to reincarnate? Whoever does good deeds all your life to pray for liberation, this spirit is better, this soul is more progressive. But if you accumulates a lot of merits but your wisdom is not bright enough, you also have to reincarnate again, to practice evolve, and open your mind until you have enough wisdom to be liberated. My children, however, thanks to having sown many merits in the previous life, this life's evil karma will be less tested. You encounter many good fortunes on the path of cultivation to support you to evolve faster. In the case of a child who does good with the spirit of service, wanting to save suffering and give happiness, that soul has a high level of evolution, doing good. Liking the spirit helps you quickly open your mind because when you act without asking, without delusion, just pure in compassion, the waves of thought in you at that time vibrate beautifully. Thanks to that you develop the Bodhi mind, open the wisdom of prajna, do good with a pure mind, without asking, without delusion. Practice the 6 paramitas of Dana Paramita, Sila Paramita, Sandhi Paramita, Virya Paramita, Dhyana Paramita, Prajna Paramita, or 3 merits and 4 virtues of love, compassion, joy and equanimity. Just because you want to save suffering and give happiness, that is the bodhisattva's conduct. Doing good with that spirit will help your mind quickly evolve to the place of clarity, purity, and complete liberation. That is all, my children. Doing good with that spirit will help your mind quickly evolve to the place of clarity, purity, and complete liberation. That is all. My children, you must understand that the 3 merits and 4 virtues or the 6 paramitas include both merits and wisdom. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. Therefore, Father let you know that if you want to go very quickly and attain results in one lifetime, you cannot only do good deeds or only practice the esoteric bhavanga separately, but you must cultivate merits and wisdom together, especially in the final stage of this lower realm. You must rush to attend the 3rd Dragon and Talents Festival. Therefore, you must try your best to practice merits and wisdom together in order to make up for the time. And if you truly want to seek the supreme path and escape the cycle of the 4 sufferings, you must definitely cultivate merits and wisdom together. And if you only get one of the 2, then when your soul leaves your body, you must reincarnate back to this world to make up for the missing part. Indeed, if you get merits but lack wisdom, your soul must return to this world to cultivate the wisdom that you have not yet achieved. If you have wisdom but lack merit, your soul has not yet achieved the result. So you must return to the world to receive the mission of bringing complete enlightenment, to be able to return to heaven, enjoying the pure state of nirvana. But sentient beings are still immersed in darkness and suffering and are in the process of being tested. Even if children have attained the result of liberation, you cannot return to heaven to enjoy nirvana. My children, Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. Therefore, there is a time when one of you want to leave your mortal body and destroy your spiritual lights to return heaven for nirvana, but are unjustly pushed back by Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, so you cannot leave your mortal bodies. This is caused many times that most of you witness the phenomenon about to leave the mortal bodies, and then must return to the mortal world until you meet Father on earth through the holy golden body. You are also asked to leave your mortal bodies and return to heaven, but Father make you clear that your missions are not yet completed, and although your little souls have returned to the Buddha world with clarity and purity, but the holy virtue timeline has not yet arrived. Living beings are still ignorant and suffering and needed your spiritual guidance, so you cannot enjoy nirvana, but have to practice the bodhisattva path, enduring hardships and suffering, wandering in this mortal world to save living beings until your heaven's mission is finished. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother, God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. You can ask the resurrectors again to be more clear about this. Father will tell you this, so that you can understand more about the importance of merit and practice. Therefore, you must take care of both the parts of blessings and wisdom. Cultivating wisdom is to diligently and vigorously practice the Dharma to open the heavenly gate and pave the way for the little souls to return to the old homeland and old scene in heaven. Cultivating blessings is to cultivate merits, release animals, give alms, and bring joy, and save suffering for living beings. In short, you must fully practice the 3 merits and 4 virtues of love, compassion, joy and equanimity. That is the 6 paramitas of Dana Paramita, Sila Paramita, Santi Paramita, Varya Paramita, Dhyana Paramita, Prajna Paramita. If you try to remember to practice merit and practice with the heart of wanting to save suffering and give joy, you will become brighter and evolve faster, my children. Dear Father, children have heard that if we want to practice to liberate ourselves from the cycle of reincarnation, we can only focus on the practice, and do not to worry about merit and social work to help others. Because this is a heavenly happiness that will always bring back heaven's blessings. If we are concerned with the merit of doing good deeds for society, the minds will be in motion, so the souls will always be stuck in the mortal world and heavenly realms, unable to escape from reincarnation. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth. In the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, children have heard that the religious founders, religious leaders, and spiritual leaders of religions are all roles that have enjoyed the blessings of the mortal world and heavenly realms. Is that true, Father? Please explain to us clearly. Dear children, Father has answered this question with some fellow Buddhists in Ardea. The truth is that this is partly true but also partly false. The truth is that all the affairs in the mortal world, from politics, culture, economics, society, religion etc., in general, the progress of civilization, both material and spiritual, of humanity in the mortal world, are all under the management and operation of the mortal world and heavenly realms. The roles of religious founders, religious leaders, or spiritual leaders of religions are all roles belonging to the mortal world and heavenly realms, because helping the human to take care of the mortal world is the work or virtue of the mortal world and heavenly realm. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's Earth, in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. If any of you who can ascend to the heavenly realm have the opportunity to come into contact with the great bodhisattvas in the immortal assembly, you will see how the bodhisattvas are practicing virtues of the mortal world and heavenly realms, cleaning up day and night to care for the evolution of the mundane world. Then you will understand more clearly what Father has just said, my children. The only thing that is wrong is to think that those children who want to practice liberation and focus on doing meritorious deeds and helping society will have their souls stuck in the mortal world and heavenly realms and cannot ascend to the Buddha realms to help the world, in the role of a labor. But your mind is tied to that role, and you are attached to that role. For example, being a religious leader and being attached to the role of a religious leader, then your consciousness will be stuck in the mortal world and heavenly realms. Your intelligence will only evolve to that level, and your souls will not be able to ascend to the transcendental realm. But if you work to help the world, playing the role of the mortal world and heavenly realm, but only compassion, wanting to save suffering, and give joy, wanting to save sentient beings from the cycle of delusion and suffering, wanting to support sentient beings to evolve. But your mind is not agitated, not tied to that role. That is the mind of Bodhisattva or Buddha, that is the conduct of Bodhisattva, the conduct of Buddha, that is the part of wisdom that has evolved from the mortal world and heavenly realm, and therefore your souls can still reach the realm of liberation as usual. My children, Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's Earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. Look at the example of Shakyamuni. For example, he is a Buddha who plays the role of the mortal world and heavenly realm. He is the leader of a religion that takes care of saving sentient beings, my children. But his spiritual light is stuck in the mortal world and heavenly realm, playing the role of a leader. For him, it is just a necessary robe that must be spread to save sentient beings, wearing the robe of a leader for compassion, for love of sentient beings. Not because he likes the robe of a leader, that is the appearance of the mortal world and heavenly realm while doing the conduct of a Buddha. So wearing the role of the mortal world and heavenly realm is still a Buddha, as usual. My children, is it true that before, a necessary task is to save suffering beings, to support the evolutionary process, but still being attached to the role, afraid that doing that work and playing that role is not beneficial for you, leaving that work to others to do? That is also still being attached, not at the right level of compassion and courage. So it is also stuck there and cannot develop further, my children.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's Earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. Here you must understand this truth. Caring for others means caring for yourself, and helping others evolve means helping yourself evolve. That is the noble virtue of those who have truly awakened. So you clearly see the only mission and duty you must do, which is to vow to enter and exit the 3 realms and 6 paths to save suffering beings without getting bored. Thanks to that, you can gradually progress to the Bodhisattva stage, great Bodhisattva and Buddhahood, and even after becoming Buddha, you still do not abandon the Bodhisattva practice. Why is that? Because you must understand that cultivation is a journey to learn compassion, wisdom, and courage, to develop compassion, wisdom, and courage to infinity. Therefore, doing good deeds to help the world, to save suffering beings with all your abilities is one of the ways to develop compassion, wisdom, and courage, my children. Then it shows that the reason why you are advised to only focus on practicing and not on meritorious deeds is probably because you are afraid that your consciousness is weak, that you may be confused and then attached to the role of doing good deeds to help others, causing your wisdom to not evolve to a sublime level. But look at the example of one of the brothers who has attained the level of cultivation, whose wisdom you have known has reached the Buddha realm. But they are also practicing the conduct of the mortal world and heavenly realm. My children, they are also practicing meritorious deeds, utilizing their wisdom to benefit all living beings. They always bring understanding, spreading their pure teachings to save the suffering and save all people, and then also take part in social work by curing diseases all their lives. My children, Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's Earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. And then look back at your life of practice since you begin to develop wisdom. You have used your knowledge to support others to evolve the visible aspect. You preach the Dharma. Encourages people to cultivate the invisible aspect. Go out to help fellow practitioners practice the Dharma, or help workers to support the evolution of souls in the lower realms of the intermediate realm. That is you concerned with establishing merits and cultivating virtue, cultivating the mind and nature to support your path of cultivation. Thanks to that, you have been able to evolve very quickly, and up to now, your spiritual light has reached the Buddha realm so quickly, my children. You see, in addition to the practice, you are not indifferent to the merit and result at all. Not only does you take care of the practice and cultivate merit and result, you also take care of the work, my children. The 3 merits, my children. Do you know what the work is? You are to uphold the precepts and patience diligently. That is the work of establishing virtue, my children. You see clearly when you start practicing, you focus on establishing your conduct, being a vegetarian, being very strict with sex desire, giving up worldly thoughts, being humble, patient, diligently practicing day and night, not daring to delay anything. Therefore, to let you see that if you want to go quickly and be bright, you must try to be sincere, take care of everything thoroughly. Not being lax or lacking anything, sincerely practicing is also to develop compassion, wisdom, and courage. Do you know how to develop compassion, wisdom, and courage, my children? Listen carefully. The merit is giving alms, releasing animals, giving joy, saving suffering. Those are the means to develop compassion, my children. The practice is practicing meditation. That is the means to develop wisdom, my children, and the work is keeping the precepts, being diligent and patient. That is the means to develop courage, my children. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven. The divine teachings of God, because establishing conduct is a work. Without courage, you are impossible to do it. Establishing conduct is also a way to exchange the word courage. In short, if you want to develop the 3 virtues of compassion, wisdom, and courage, you must practice the 3 merits, which are effort, achievement, project, and the 4 virtues, which are compassion, joy, and equanimity. The 3 merits are also called the 6 paramitas, which are giving precepts, diligence, patience, meditation, and wisdom. The 4 virtues are also called the thousands virtues. All the merits that you do to bring joy and relieve suffering to living beings are compassion, joy, equanimity, or thousands virtues, my children. However, fathers see that most of you who practice the invisible sect because you do not understand often emphasize the part of practice and despise the part of work, thinking that if you want to become enlightened quickly, you only need to focus on practice to open blessings and wisdom. But my children, you must know that if you want to open wisdom, you must learn compassion. The more compassion, the more righteousness, then your wisdom will be brighter, my children. The greater the compassion, the more courage, the more open wisdom will be. If your compassion is narrow and your courage is weak, then your wisdom cannot be opened to a high level. My children, remember that when you know how to love more, you will be brighter. If your mind is narrow and lacks compassion, you will only stay in the lower realms and not be able to rise higher. Therefore, if you want to reach the Buddha realm, you must learn to open your mind to love sentient beings and save them from suffering, because the Buddha mind is the mind that loves sentient beings and loves all living beings. Thanks to that mind, the Buddha will shine with wisdom and be able to reach the realm of liberation. But then Father said the opposite. The purpose of your practice is to open your wisdom, but having wisdom is only to awaken to love more, which is compassion, my children.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth. In the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, using the wisdom to fight with the mortal ego to endure hardships and save sentient beings is courage, my children. In short, you see that if you have wisdom, you will have compassion and courage. If you have courage, you will have compassion and wisdom, and if you have compassion, you will have wisdom and courage, right? These virtues are closely related to each other, and you will have to develop them. They are always on the path of returning to the origin in heaven by practicing the 3 merits and 4 virtues of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity, or the 6 paramitas of Dana-paramita, Sila-paramita, Santi-paramita, Virya-paramita, Dhyana-paramita, Prajna-paramita, and thousands virtues thoroughly, my children. If you want to return to the origin in heaven quickly, you must understand this clearly and be determined to practice those above. Dear Father, please teach us so that we can absorb it. Father tells children to love, but we want to love, but our mind doesn't love, we doesn't love automatically. What should we do? Father, my children, you tell Father that you want to love, but you don't love. Do you know why? Because your souls want to love but the six senses do not know how to love, and your souls are weak, allowing the six senses to dominate and listen to the six senses. So when you are angry that your souls want to love but the six senses do not want to love, it is because your six senses do not know how to love, my children. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother, the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's earth, in the 36th heaven. The divine teachings of God. If your six senses do not know how to love, you must teach your six senses to love. Practice loving. How do you teach your six senses, my children? You must teach your six senses not only by practicing to help the six senses become brighter and more knowledgeable, but also by doing meritorious deeds, my children. Because meritorious deeds are an opportunity for your souls to make the six senses learn to practice love in a concrete way. If your six senses do not act according to your soul's wishes because your six senses do not know how to love, then your souls must use a strong will to make your six senses listen to a work of love and service that requires the efforts of your six senses. Thanks to those practical lessons, gradually your six senses will be imbued with good habits, and then automatically your six senses will know how to love more. Thanks to knowing how to love more, the six senses will become brighter, my children. Is that also a way to transcend your six senses in the essence, to help your six senses become brighter by practicing meritorious deeds? And is doing meritorious deeds also an opportunity for you to love sentient beings in your essence? So do you see that when your six senses become brighter, it is not only through practice but also through meritorious deeds, right children? You should remember that doing meritorious deeds is learning compassion through practice, my children. Learning compassion without practicing and remembering the word compassion will not open your kindness. My children, Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's earth, in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, therefore. How can you progress higher level, without progressing higher? How can you save sentient beings within your being, dear Father? But children do not have the opportunity to do meritorious deeds, children lack the means to do good deeds, so what should we do, Father? My children, what you say is that you do not have the opportunity. Listen, when you truly love, you automatically see an opportunity for you to do meritorious deeds, to serve, to look for an opportunity to do good deeds. Do not let the opportunity come to you. If you want to do meritorious deeds quickly, but you do not erase the difficulties, then you naturally be delayed. Because if your worldly karma is still heavy, how your path is easily without challenge without delay, my children, therefore, you must worry about reducing your karma by paying off your worldly debts, serving all living beings, doing good deeds, cultivating good qualities, and eliminating karma. Only then your worldly karma gradually lighten, your karmic obstacles will be reduced, and it will be easier for you to move forward in life. If you have heavy karma and lack good fortune, if you want to progress, you must endure many bitter trials and hardships, making it difficult to move forward. And you say you lack the means to do good deeds. Father tells you clearly that you must conceive of merit in a more open and generous way. Giving material things and money to the poor is not only merit. You must understand that merit is more vast than giving both material and spiritual things. Saving suffering and giving joy is serving sentient beings to evolve. If you have a higher level of understanding, you will see that the best way is to give alms of pure energy, because pure energy will help sentient beings to be less heavy karma, less ignorant, and less suffering. Every day you can spread good and holy thoughts into the universe to help the weak, dark and evil people rise up with pure energy. That is also a very good way of giving alms, and it is a meritorious deed,